So there's a lot of videos on YouTube that talk about first time gun ownership, and they're targeting first time gun owners and what gun you should get as a first time gun owner, top 5 guns, all those types of videos. There's plenty of them. So if you're a first time gun owner or you're thinking about getting your first gun, there's plenty of those videos that you could watch. But I kind of wanted to have just a little talk with y'all about the other things that those videos tend to miss or not talk about when it comes to buying your first gun and getting into guns and stuff like that. So I was just, sitting back thinking, a couple points that, may be of worth to somebody out there that's thinking about getting into guns and buying their first gun, and what is ahead jumping into this hobby/lifestyle. So first thing I would like to say is this whole thing, it's phases. So, the whole thing is just phases. There will be times where I only want to carry, micro compacts or compacts, or there'll be times where, and by the way, this is clear. These are all empty. There'll be times where I only want to carry this right here. While we listen to that retention. You hear that? It's crazy. But there'll be times where I only want to carry this. It's lightweight. I have plenty of rounds. It looks great, feels great. I can shoot great with it, and I'll carry this for a long time. I'll go through phases. There was a phase that I went through that I only was buying hammer-fired guns. There was a phase where I was only carrying my Glocks, or only buying Glocks. I went through a SIG phase where I got a bunch of SIGs, decked them out how I liked, and yeah, go through a SIG phase. And there's phases, go up and down. I went through I go through AR phases and AR pistol phases, and you just go through phases, and that's totally normal. So be prepared to go through those phases. When you're thinking about getting your first gun, don't marry that gun. Yeah, you want to get to know it, you want to shoot it, you want to get proficient with it, but you're really trying to figure out, does it work for you? Does it feel good in your hands? Does it, are you confident when you're shooting it? And just know that you're going to go through phases where sometimes you just want to do it this way, sometimes you want to do it that way, and that's going to happen. And with those phases, that rolls me right into to point number 2, which is you are going to lose money. When you get into these guns, you're going to lose money. And I'm not just talking about the simple conversation that you're going to lose money trying to resell them. If you wanted to sell something, then get into something else. See, I don't sell guns. So when I buy a gun now, I used to years ago, but now I have a policy that I don't sell guns. So it's just something that I've instilled. And the only thing that I will do, though, is I do trades. But as far as like selling a gun or a firearm, I don't do that. This is clear. But man, Glock 45. This is my favorite Glock. This is by far, and this is an arguable point, but to me, Glock 45 is the best Glock has ever made. Do it all, shit hits the fan gun. This is it. This is what I'm grabbing right here. It's just a great firearm. How can you go wrong? But yeah, I don't sell firearms. So the used firearm market is crazy. Trying to sell something is crazy. Trying to buy something used is crazy. So I don't sell guns. But when you get into guns, you're gonna lose money. These accessories, a lot of people want to get into guns and treat them like cars, and they make the mistake they make with cars. This is the same thing in the car scene. Like, you modding your car doesn't add value to the car when you go to resell it. So some things may, like, for example, if I were to be selling this gun used, and I wanted to add one of my AXG frames in the sale, yes, I could sell it for more because those frames keep their value, and yes, it up the values of how much you can sell it for. But not every gun part is like that. And by the way, just want to take a second to admire the P320. All the P320 haters out of there. But it doesn't add value like that. So you're going to lose money. And that's something that a lot of people don't talk about. You're going to lose a ton of money. I've seen people lose their shirts trying to sell some of their firearms. Things are going to come up. Life happens and some people need the money and all that. I get it. But just understand that you're going to lose money. That's what comes with, getting into these things. Whether you're buying one gun for self-defense, eventually you get into a second gun, a third gun, and now you're looking at your collection. Like, maybe do I sell this one to get this one? Because these things are expensive. Like, these things aren't cheap. Like, there is a ton of people out there who think that these things are like $600-700 all put together like this. Not at all. This is like, first of all, this is $1,800 right here worth of accessories, parts, upgrades, whatever. So and this is just one. So these things are not cheap at all. And if I were to go to try to resell this just like this, I mean, I would lose money on this. I could get some of my money back for sure, but I would lose money on this. Now, the third thing I wanted to roll into is the social media aspect of this. You go on Reddit, you go on YouTube, man, there are a lot of haters out there, man. People love to hate on shit, man. They wake up every day and they love to hate on stuff. When in the gun world, it's the exact same way. You go on Reddit, people are talking shit about things they have no clue. There's this phenomenon, at least in the gun community, where people just repeat things they hear other people say, or they repeat things they hear other people comment on things, and they take it as church and they just repeat it. They're just passing on misinformation. So beware of that. So, when you're researching, what gun I should get as my first gun, you're looking at the comment section, you're looking at Reddits and YouTubes. There's going to be a lot of people giving suggestions about shit. They have no clue what they're talking about. There are a lot of liars out there, a lot of liars. Like, I've seen ton of people get on in comment sections, and a lot of these people who are suggesting things, they don't even own the things they're suggesting. Like, somebody will ask, oh, I'm thinking about putting a weapon light on my Glock 45, what light should I get? And people will get on there, oh, I wouldn't get anything but an X300, and I wouldn't. And a lot of the people don't even own an X300. They just want to sound like they're cool. They want it to sound like they own. It's all fake. It's not real. So be careful out there when you're researching for things. And when it comes to this whole social media thing, there's a lot of fake bougie gun people out there. Fake bougie gun people out there. Like, the amount of hate. Like, if I were to post the same gun or do a video with this same firearm and throw on one of my old lights on here, the amount of fucking dumbasses that pop in the comment section who think they know what they're talking about, who are talking all this shit, oh, it will blow up in your hands, and it's mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling. And people just spew shit that they have no clue. There's tons of people who have done side-by-side reviews of X300s and Olites side by side, saying that they're not far off at all. The reviews are not far off. Then you'll get people, oh, those reviews can be manipulated. Okay, then there'll be a ton of Reddits of people saying that they have no problems with their Olites. But no, that's not good enough. There's some kind of department out there that determines what's cool and what isn't, and there's some type of elitism in the gun community, and this shit has to stop, because it confuses a lot of the people who are trying to get into the gun community. People trying to get into guns, they feel as though that when they're trying to, they're looking at their gun that they're trying to get, and they're like, okay, I think I'm gonna go with a Glock 45. They feel as though that if they don't have an X300 on their Glock 45, they're doing something wrong, and that's bullshit. If I had a Boulder Pro on here instead of an X300, it would work just as good. As a matter of fact, if I had the Olight on here, I would have extra features such as strobe, which this one doesn't have. So, plus the charging is wireless. So I keep a lot of my I keep a lot of my Olight chargers plugged up here. I can just easily plug them in and charge them up. So yeah, a lot of people just don't know what the fuck they're talking about. People just want to seem as though that they're cool, or that they're buying expensive shit just for the sake of buying expensive shit. After reliability, after you test something, yes, how it looks to you matters. It's important. So when I'm testing something, after it's passed my test of reliability and I'm comparing it to something else, how it looks is a big deal. So for example, these 508Ts, I love how the 508T looks. and this is a $300 and some optic. I love how it looks. It perform better than the 407K? No, not really. Does it perform? Does the EPS here? This is $400 and some. Does this EPS perform better than the 508T or the 407K? No. I mean, does it have extra features? I mean, yeah, it is enclosed, yada yada yada, yeah. But is it that much better? No, not really, not at all. So when it comes down to it, you want to make sure that you're buying something that has been proven to be reliable, as in the build quality is there and it lasts a long time. Most people on the internet are going to pretend that they're running their guns to the ground. You would think that these everyday citizens are out here running their guns as if they're in Iraq, on a deployment, running and gunning. Like, that's how hard you would think people are running their guns, because they're saying, oh, in 6 months, the thing is going to fall apart. Like, how hard are you fucking running your guns? I don't understand. I go to the range more often than most people, and I still take great care of my things. As a matter of fact, when we were in the military, we took great care of all our gear, and we ran that shit hard, our gear hard in the military. So in the civilian world, there's no fucking way that you should be worried about, oh, I need to find something that's 800. I need an $800 optic. No, you don't. You don't necessarily need an armor. You don't. There's a lot of options out there, and this is good. If you can afford an armor and it looks good to you and it meets your criteria, sure, you go ahead and purchase it. But don't disrupt your life trying to save up and buy this thing because you feel as though that the internet or social media or YouTube is making you feel like if you don't have it on your gun, then your gun is not reliable. It's complete bullshit. So be careful out there. And not only that, there's a ton of people out there showing off their guns and being elitist about their builds and whatever, and then their X300s are fake. Like, if you pay attention, you'll see a lot of these. You see these X300 Ultras. If you see the white lettering is bold and white and bright, and it's not, kind of like thin and dull like this, it's a fake. It's a fake. Like, there's a ton of fakes out there. People are buying shit from eBay and they're pretending like they bought the real thing. There's a ton of just bullshit elitism. So be careful with that. It is that, beginning to guns is fun. I love fucking guns. I love talking about guns. I love playing with guns. I love going to the range. It's nothing brings me more pleasure. Kind of like that one movie where me and all my guns, we got a thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got a thing. So, and that's cool. And just be careful out there of other people who are trying to impose these made up arbitrary high school bullshit things on what is cool, what isn't, what is reliable, and what isn't, just based off of the price. So be careful out there. Now, what should you do? In my opinion, you shouldn't just look at videos that say top 5 guns for new gun owners, because everybody is different. There are millions of people out there. Everybody's different. What you should be doing is you should be renting guns. You should be going to the range often. You should be renting as many guns as possible. Get your hands on a new gun every time you go to the range. You go to the range, you see a Glock 45, you take it out there, you have a good old time, put rounds down range, go to work. Make observation, make notes, get a notebook, make some notes. Glock 45, these are the notes. How it feels in your hands. How are your shot placements? How is the grip? Can you grip it properly? How are the controls? Can you get to everything the same, the proper way without breaking your grip? How does it look? Do you like the look? Is it shooting flat for you? Do you think it's snappy? Make all those notes. Next time you go to the range, get another gun that you're interested in and you shoot the shit out of it. Have a good old time. The same thing. Make those observations, and you do that as many times as you want. And then you can come back, look at your notes, make a top 3, and then invest in one of those for 3, 6 months, a year, see how you like it, and then make changes that way. Does that mean that you don't buy guns along the way? No, but you're trying to find the guns that work for you, because it doesn't matter how many guns I buy. I'll buy a gun, shoot it a bunch, get in a rotation, but I will always settle back down to the same guns. Glock 45, SIG P320, and then some type of Canic, and then probably a Walther. I like my Walther. So a PDP or something. So I will always fall back on my foundation of what really works for me, the platforms that I'm really confident at. And in order to find that for you, you need to shoot a lot. So you can't guess, and you can't take other people's word for it. You can't just watch a YouTube video and be like, oh, that's the gun for me. It doesn't work that way. Go out there and rent as many guns as possible. If you can't find a gun to rent, see if you can find a buddy or a friend who has that gun, and go to the range and shoot it. Shoot the shit out of it. And do all sorts of whatever drills, dumps, do everything you need to do, and figure out if that gun works for you. So just a couple of things to think about as a good new gun owner, or somebody trying to get into guns, or somebody trying to get into more guns, from somebody who does this shit all the time. So, but I'm extremely lucky to be able to afford to do some of the stuff that I do. Most people, or a lot of people right now, can't afford to do that. So, if you're on a budget and you're trying to find those platforms and that gun that's for you, that's what I would do. Rent as much as you can, go to the range as often as you can, and then start one platform at a time. I like to do a platforms at it, meaning, shoot a bunch of different Glocks. And if you figure out that you really like Glocks, get you a Glock, maybe the 45, or maybe the 19. Those are great guns to start off with, because you can go up or down within the Glock lineup and not lose the knowledge that you learn, because the platform is essentially the same. It's just a matter of size, and comfortability on all that. So same thing with the SIGs, the P320s, and then now with Canik offering different sizes of guns, you can do the same thing with Caniks. So and not only that, look at different holsters and all that, because I have guns that I loved, and then I couldn't find a great holster or proper holster for it. And that was a problem for me. I can't carry that gun as much as I would like, because it can be an inconvenience sometimes, because the holster options suck. So that's why I like, certain platforms again, like Glocks. You can find holsters for Glocks anywhere. Same thing for SIGs. So something to think about. Beware out there. There's a lot of bullshitters out there. There's a lot of fake bougie people, a lot of elitists that want to just do that high school bullshit with this gun stuff. Find what works for you. Share what works for you. We all want to see what you got going on. We all like the same. We like guns. We want to see what's going on. Share what works for you. I'm sure somebody out there is gonna like it just like you like it. So don't be afraid to share. Ignore all the haters. Do your research, and shoot as much as you can. So yeah, that's all I had. I'm on here for 17 minutes. I'm gonna let y'all go. What if you had somebody asking you an advice about getting a new gun or getting into guns, what advice would you give them? Leave a comment below, and let me know what would your advice be. So see you guys on the next one. Deuces. And yeah, see you next time.